Hi, this is Raylene from Unity of Tacoma. Today is Sunday, March 22nd, and we're going to be talking about letting your light shine in the world. There's some darkness going on right now, but you can make a difference. Whether you're watching us on Facebook, hit like, or watching us on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. I'm so glad that you're joining us today. Welcome to Unity of Tacoma. We are an online church with a physical presence here in Tacoma, Washington. Right now, our community is dealing with a pandemic, and there's a lot of fear and apprehension. I like the word apprehension because I've talked to a lot of people within the community and asked them how they're doing, and most of them are doing really well, actually. And none of them would admit to fear, but many of them would admit to a little bit of apprehension. That actually makes a lot of sense to me because we are a community of very spiritually grounded people and emotionally mature people. So it makes a lot of sense to me that this particular community is not living in fear because that's not who we are. However, I know that you know someone who is living in fear. I know that there are people in your life that you could be reaching out to and helping them through this uncertain time. We hear that a lot these days. It's uncertain, it's unprecedented. It reminds me when my kids were little, not toddlers quite, but preschool and early elementary school. One of the things that I would do for them, okay, so really it was for me, for my own sanity. But one of the things that I would do for them to help them out was I would tell them exactly what to expect. I would say, okay, we're going shopping today. We're going to leave the house in half an hour, and we're going to go to Costco, and we're going to do big shopping. And after we do big shopping, we're going to go to McDonald's. And as long as everyone is behaving well, I'll be happy to take you all to McDonald's. Remember, I had 3 little ones, and sometimes my 2 nephews along for the ride with us. So we will go to McDonald's. And we'll stay at McDonald's for 1 hour, and everyone can have their own happy meal. And as long as there's no fussing, we can stay for the whole hour. So if you guys can work together and get along and follow instructions, we'll stay for a whole hour at McDonald's Playland, and everyone will get their own happy meal. When it's time to go, I'll give you your 5-minute warning. And then you will have a chance to take one last slide, get your shoes on, and then we're all going to get in the car, and everyone's going to stay together and stay on the sidewalk and get in the car in an orderly fashion. And then we're going to go home. And provided I'm not too tired, because I had to deal with grumpy kiddos, provided that I have energy because you guys made it so easy for me to take you out, there are ice cream cones in the freezer. And if I have enough energy, we'll be sure to have some ice cream when we get home. And I am here to tell you, I never had a problem taking those kids out. It's not that they were particularly good kids. I mean, maybe they were. I don't know. You always think that your kids are the best kids. But I believe that telling them what to expect helped them to know how to behave. So they knew what was coming next. They never had to worry about what was going to happen. All of the expectations were there. And throughout the day, I would give them more expectations. Okay, we're almost done with shopping. After we pay, then we're going to leave. We're not going to go to the food court today because we're going to go to McDonald's because you guys are behaving so well. And I think that that's human nature. Even as an adult, I want to know what to expect. In fact, my personality is one that wants to know all the things. I want to know everything that's going on. On our Skype meetings, I don't do speaker view. I'm not there to concentrate just on the person who's speaking. I always do gallery view. I want to see all the people and all their expressions, and I want to know all the things that are going on. And I think that that's the same for a lot of people. We just want to know what to expect. I think Fred Rogers was particularly good at explaining how you can get greater cooperation and ease your children's apprehensions by letting them know what to expect. And here we are in the middle of a pandemic. Many of us haven't lived through a pandemic, for very young people have never seen anything quite like this. People who have never experienced what it's like to have a pandemic are a little bit concerned what is going to happen next. We even had some resistance here within the church when we decided that we were not going to hold hands and hug, so that would do some social distancing and allow us to meet here in our space longer, until we realized that that simply wasn't enough. That wasn't a highest enough measure. I think Unity of Tacoma was one of the first communities in Tacoma to decide to cancel churches throughout the lockdown. And one of the reasons we said we're going to cancel church throughout the lockdown is because everyone knows the lockdown ends on the 24th. At least that's what we know right now. And what that does is that allows all of us to anticipate coming back on the 26th and, wait until you see what your leadership has planned for you at our first service back. Now, I know that there's a little bit of question in the air about whether the lockdown's going to be extended. And if the lockdown's extended, the lockdown's extended, but that doesn't change the fact that we're all going to be meeting right here again in this space, holding hands, singing together, and just wait till you see what we have in store for you that first day back. I'm very excited about it. So I want to just give you something to anticipate. I want to make sure that our expectations are set very clearly for you so that you know what we have ready for you, that you know that you can find us on Facebook, you know that you can find us on YouTube, you know all of these things that we're doing. Sunday Rumble at 11 o'clock, and we're going to be live streaming. I'm very excited to announce that. We had anticipated beginning live streaming anyway. We had purchased the equipment. We had consulted with the professionals about how to get that done in a really nice way. We already had the infrastructure for it, and we're putting that into action. We were anticipating starting on Easter, but now very hopefully next week. Is that right, Denise? We're working on it. So that's something that you can expect for sure. In this time of uncertainty, you can expect that we'll all be able to gather around together and watch the service live streamed at 10 o'clock, either this week or next week, perhaps 2 weeks from now, but definitely by Easter. Easter's going to be awesome. We have Reverend Don Beatty joining us and Stephen Plummer, and we're all going to be here, the musician and the speaker, and we're going to live stream our service for you. And I hope that that helps you have some comfort in this time of uncertainty. I know you know people who are having a harder time with the uncertainty than others, and you can create certainty for them just by being available, by talking to them. I have a really good friend of mine, and we've agreed that since we're both working from home, we'll take our 10:30 coffee break together. We'll get on Zoom or Facebook chat and catch up with one another. I really am looking forward to that. That's actually time that I haven't been getting with her because she and I don't work in the same company. But because we're at home, that makes it possible to use our personal equipment to make that connection. One of the things that I've noticed as I've talked to people about how they're doing, I'm trying to reach out to everyone in our community and have a phone call or a Facebook chat with each and every one of them, is that there is a lot of optimism. And at the same time, I don't want to squash that optimism. Optimism's great. Everyone should be an encourager to the people around them. There's also the potential for spiritual bypass. One of the things about fear and anger is that they're tools, they're natural. This is something that was given to us as a gift. Everything is of God, and that includes our emotions, and that includes the emotions that we don't even like to have. But when you have a wave of fear or a wave of apprehension, think of it as a teacher. It's not there to torment you, but you remember being in school and thinking some of your teachers were there to torment you. And that's how our emotions can feel sometimes. But the truth is, our emotions come to us as teachers. They're here to learn. We're here to learn from them. They're here to teach us something. And so by interacting with your emotion, you will get the most out of it. You will find that you grow from that. If you feel a wave of apprehension, don't push it away. That apprehension is trying to teach you something. That apprehension is drawing your attention to something that you believe, something that's ready to evolve and to grow into something new, something brighter. There are certain emotions like shame that only serve us for a split second, just that long. If you can feel shame for just that long, it's enough for you to go, oh, hey, something's off. And that shame can teach you a lesson if you let it. That shame can teach you and grow you if you let it. You don't need to feel the shame. You just need to interact with it. You can reframe it. What am I really concerned about? What's really bothering me? What must I believe that this is causing me so much discomfort in my life? Because once those limiting beliefs, once those erroneous beliefs come bubbling to the surface, and you can go, oh, okay. So if I have fear or shame or anger around this, it must be because I believe something. And once you can identify that belief, you can call forth spiritual truth into it. This is one of those times, if you remember when we were studying the 5 basic unity principles, that I told you guys there will come times when life is uncomfortable. There will come times when life is so uncertain that you can't see God in what's happening. Where is God in the midst of a pandemic? Where is God in the midst of economic turmoil? Where is God in all of this? And unfortunately, the answer today is the answer I gave you then. It's for you to find God within these circumstances. It's for you to get really personal with your understanding of what God is. That's something that each and every one of us can only come to through our own personal spiritual practice. And when you get to that point, it's beautiful. Let me tell you. It's absolutely beautiful. And you only get there if you don't engage in spiritual bypass. Spiritual bypass is, I'm not afraid. Spiritual bypass is, well, only good can come from this, so it's all good, it's all God. If we're struggling, then that's what God meant for us to do. Or to think that it's spiritual somehow, that you're struggling less than someone else. This is spiritual bypass. True spirituality simply accepts the human condition and takes all of these gifts that are our emotions, including the fear, the apprehension, the anger, and the shame, as ways of teaching us who we are at our core, as ways of bringing forth our true essence as spiritual beings. But not everyone has these tools, and you may be surrounded by others that don't have these tools. So how do you talk to somebody who maybe isn't walking a spiritual path? How do you talk to somebody who is deep in fear? Start with compassion. Just that. Compassion, connection, empathize. It doesn't help anyone for you to tell someone they're not having the experience they just told you they're having. If someone says they're afraid, don't tell them, well, there's no reason to be afraid. It's all good. It's all God. Say, wow, I see that you're afraid. Validate their experience, because they'll never get beyond that. They'll just tune you out if the first thing that you do is invalidate what they just told you is their experience, because that is their personal truth. Now, among us, we understand spiritual truths. But if you're human, you also understand what it is to have a personal truth. And it's not helpful to have somebody invalidate what is true for you on a personal level. So when you're dealing with someone's pain, when you're dealing with someone's fear, validate it. I see that. I see that you're in fear. I just want you to know I'm here. They want to have the same certainty that we all want to have. They want to know what to expect, just as my kids wanted to know what to expect when we were leaving the house, and just as I want to know what to expect from my employer. Other people want to know what to expect, and they may simply want to know what to expect from you as their friend. So tell them, I'm here for you. You can call me. We can have Zoom meetings. I'll look for you on Facebook. We can have a video chat. If you want to, go ahead and schedule a meeting like my friend Kari and I have done. We're just going to meet each other for our morning coffee break. Most importantly, To get through a time of uncertainty, you really need to engage in what's commonly called self-care. And self-care can be creating expectations for yourself. It's been a little bit of an adjustment going to working from home. I used to have a routine. I'd get up in the morning, I'd catch the bus, I'd go 45 minutes early so that I could sit at a coffee shop and have half an hour of downtime and then walk to my office. When I got to my office, I had a whole routine for booting up my computer and getting ready for the day of work. I had the people that I would go and say hi to. I had a routine. I knew what to expect. Everything changed. Everything changed on Monday when I decided to stay home from work. Everything changed from where I do my work to my computer setup. I've been working off of a 16-inch monitor, trying to do things that I used to do with 3 enormous monitors at my desk. And it's different. And I found myself thinking, how late can I sleep in and still get upstairs and log in on time? And I think I figured that out, that it was like 7:55. If I rolled out of bed at 7:55 and I didn't wash my face and change my clothes, I could be upstairs in front of my computer logging on at 8 o'clock, doing my duty by my employer. And I'm here to tell you, while it felt like cheating, it felt like getting away with something for the first couple of days, now it just feels icky. I really miss the routine of getting up, of getting dressed, of doing my self-care, and going to get my coffee in the morning. So since we're still able to get out on the streets, I've decided that beginning on Monday, I will get up early enough to have my shower, to put on real clothes, and to walk to the nearest coffee shop, and then walk back with enough time to get up to my space and to log in on time and not be rushed. And I'm looking forward to it. I wasn't really looking forward to it this week. But creating a routine for myself, helping me to know what to expect, is really helpful. One of the things that is really exciting about working from home is that I can intersperse my spiritual practice, where, in a corporation, we keep our politics and our religiosity to ourselves. It's always been something I would quietly do at work. If something wasn't working out, I would just take it into prayer, just very quietly. But not anymore. Now I'm praying loud. I have a lot of respect for my coworker, Belinda. I walked into the elevator bay and I heard her having a very impassioned conversation last week. And I went in, there was no one with her. I said, "Who are you talking to?" And she said, "Jesus. I am talking to Jesus." I'm like, I didn't mean to interrupt. I love that. And it's inspired me to bring my spiritual practice to my workday while I'm working at home. And I think that having a spiritual practice is what's going to get us all through more than anything else. If you need to know what to expect, well, you can create a time when you can expect to engage in your spiritual practice when it's time for your meditation or your prayer. You can create that. That's a form of self-care. That's a form of creating a safe routine, a space that helps you predict what's going to happen during a time when things are pretty gosh darn unpredictable. But of course, I'm always going to say that. I think I probably end every talk of mine with prayer, meditation, or prayer and meditation. Because that's really where the rubber meets the road in all things. When fear comes up for you, pray. When gratitude comes up for you, pray. When sadness comes up for you, pray. When you are celebrating, pray. I think unity must be one of the most prayingest religions out there. Everything that we do is supported through our belief in the power of affirmative prayer. It's a way to take our personal truth, what we are experiencing, which can sometimes be something uncomfortable, and move it up to a higher truth, an absolute capital T truth, something that we can connect with. The truth that God is joy, the truth that God is life, and life will prevail through this. I'm absolutely adoring David having baby bunnies and baby ducks at the house. During this time when we're counting deaths, it's just joyous to see life coming up and coming forth. Prayer. Would you join me for a prayer? Because you are the light of the world. And take that light and shine it forth. Shine it forth with your neighbor. Shine it forth with your friend. Shine it forth simply in prayer. Let your light so shine before men. Will you pray with me? And so we breathe in, breathe out. Find the sanctuary of our heart. Find that safe and sacred space within us. That space which always knows the highest and holiest of truths, which is that God is all there is. And because God is all there is, everything around us is made up of God stuff. And so it is that each and every person we encounter, each and every person that we are, is made up of that God stuff. We are that individualized manifestation of spirit. Each and every one of us expressing life in a way that only we can. Each and every one of us moving through this world as a gift to all of those around us, to be an encourager, to be a comforter, to be a person of integrity and grace wherever we go, however we show up, in person, online, or from the center of our hearts. And so I simply invite you to tap into that truth that you are God in expression, to reach out today, to be a blessing to someone in some way, to know that you are here for a divine purpose, and to know that it's totally okay to engage in self-care, to create a routine that is inviolable, something to create expectation and flow in your life, to set time aside for work, to set time aside for play, to set time aside for prayer and meditation, knowing that these are all ways that we express our divinity. These are all ways that God expresses itself in the world as us, as we let our lights shine in all things. I know this to be the truth. I know this to be the truth of me. I know this to be the truth of each and every one of you. And so it is with great confidence that I say, and so it is. Amen.